morning, we are diving into a topic that is making waves in the senior community. All right, it's called the Big Beautiful Bill and its tax implications. Joining us is Jeff Massey, a certified financial planner professional that focuses on retirement planning. Good to have you here today.
Always a pleasure.
All right, Jeff, let's get into it because this is all we've been hearing about for the past probably about a month or more. Is this bill and people going back and forth, whether it's a good thing, whether it's a bad thing? Tell us all we need to know.
Well, it's both good and bad depending on what parts of it you're looking at.
Right.
Now, there's been a lot of talk in this bill about things being taken away, like Medicaid and things of that nature, where they're reducing how much people will get benefit-wise and all of that.
Right.
I'm ignoring that part. I'm just looking at the tax implications that we have here. First of all, the current taxes that we have, the brackets we have, were scheduled to go up in January and revert back to where they were in 2017. Now, in many brackets, that would have been a pretty substantial increase. First bracket didn't change, but the second bracket would have gone up 25%.
Ooh.
That's a huge increase.
Yeah.
And then as you go up, there was 13.6% increase, 16.6 increase, and it goes all the way up through the brackets. So they have now been made permanent. So let's start with that.
Okay.
We're going to keep these brackets, which is a wonderful thing. And then the big one that's getting a lot of news is the bonus deduction for seniors age 65 and above. Now, Trump had promised that he was going to do away with taxes on Social Security. And a lot of people think that's what's going on here. But it's not really just for Social Security income.
Okay.
So the way that you calculate how much of your Social Security is theoretically income taxable did not change. So that stays the same. It's just allowing people to take an extra deduction on their total income picture. So it doesn't matter. You know, even folks that have different brackets and whatnot, this will be phased out, unfortunately.
Right.
You get the full $6,000 bonus deduction if your income is $75,000 or less.
Okay.
After that, it begins to phase out, where if you're double that, you end up losing it completely. Married filing joint, that's $6,000 and $6,000, so they get $12,000 as long as their income is under $150,000.
Okay.
So that's pretty good. But most of these initiatives, like we have here, are temporary. They're only good for 2025, 6, 7, and 8.
Got it.
And then they go away.
Then they go away. Okay.
So it's all during Trump's presidency that he's kept a lot of these things in place.
So, Jeff, what happens to somebody if they are close? Let's say they're maybe a year or two. They've been planning all of their life, right? They're a year or two away from maybe closer to retirement. Does it rock their world with all of these new rules that are coming in place? As they're saying, okay, I'm going to need this amount of money to when I do retire, I'm going to have. Yeah, I'll be all set. But does this rock their world? I mean, all of these new rules?
These rules will help more people than not.
Okay.
Okay, this bonus deduction. Yeah, it's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
And there are other things that are very important as well in the tax bill. For instance, $25,000 of server tax tips, excuse me, will not be taxable.
Okay.
I mean, that's a huge number.
Sure.
$25,000
right.
per individual. So for a couple, it's $50 grand if they're both working in the service job,
right.
you know, restaurants, etc.
Sure.
That is a big one. Overtime pay. $12,500 per individual. So for a married couple, overtime pay, they can wipe out $25,000 of income.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool.
That's a good thing,
I mean,
too.
so there's lots of good things.
Right, right.
I'm looking forward to, all right, what's the tax form going to have to look like with all these extra changes?
Right.
Because a lot of these are what's called above-the-line deductions, which is better. It's better that way than below the line, because then it's the standard deduction. The standard deduction has gone up from $15,000 to $15,750 for singles, from $30,000 to $31,500 for married couples. I mean, so there's lots of little things all over the place that has changed. You'll now be able to deduct up to $10,000 of interest on car loans as long as the car was assembled in the United States. Now, they could have parts from Mexico, Canada, Europe.
Right.
As long as they put it together here, it'll qualify for that discount.
Okay.
Another big one is the SALT, state and local tax deduction, was $10,000. That's been elevated to $40,000, which really helps the big cities.
Sure.
You know, the New Yorks, the Bostons, LA, etc. Their real estate values were so much higher. Their taxes were so much higher.
Right.
That phases out if you have 500,000 or more of income.
Well, you know.
So I did a quick search. 1% in Rhode Island
Yeah.
make more than 500,000. So pretty much the rest of us will be able to enjoy that state and local tax deduction of up to 40,000 where it was 10.
Right.
So there are some pretty significant changes throughout the bill here.
So if someone is, like we was asking before, if you're getting ready to retire, are there any changes that you, even for myself, 10 years or so, do I need to make any changes in how I file taxes, how money that's taken out of my check every week, or preparing for when I do retire? Or can I just keep it status quo now and let it go because I still have so much time before that time comes where I do need to retire?
That 10 years is going to go by in a flash.
Okay.
So don't defer.
Right.
The target should always be 10 or 15% of your gross income you should be saving for retirement.
Got it.
The real question that we help folks with that are still working is helping them decide whether they should be saving on a pre-tax basis or post-tax with Roth IRAs, Roth 401ks, etc.
Sure.
Because that's all about what bracket are you in today. And now we know the brackets are permanent. So
right.
we have to recalculate, because a lot of people we had doing other things, we now have to go back and readdress the advice we gave them over the last couple of years, because now the tax brackets
Things have changed.
are staying the same.
Right.
So that is a huge benefit for most people, especially retirees.
Yeah.
Many retirees are under that 12, are in the 12 or 10% bracket, because a married couple can earn this year roughly about $130,000 in retirement.
That's
and
great.
Still be in the 12% bracket.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
That's a good, strong income.
That's a good thing.
So that 12% avoided a 25% tax increase.
Got it.
With this tax bill. Now, downside, it's projected to add another $3.8 trillion to our debt over the next 10 years, over and above what's going on right now, which we're adding about $1 trillion every 100 days to our federal debt.
Yikes.
Think about that number. In my book, I wrote about what's a trillion seconds.
Right.
It's over 31,000 years is a trillion seconds.
Right.
That's how enormous that number is.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
All right, Jeff, thanks so much. You can learn more about this topic and Massey & Associates. All you got to do, head to our website, roadshow.com.